Hello, welcome back to the Life of Chai. Today's video, preparing breakfast for your loved one. Saturdays and Sundays, we have a little extra time in the house and our schedules can come together. And so I like to prepare something special for my wife and where we can actually eat together. Today, a fruit plate, and I will begin with mine. One thing that I wanted to mention to begin with, all this fruit is washed in advance. When the fruit comes into the house under running water, we'll wash it like this to clean it. Even the watermelons, these watermelons grow on the ground. Oranges, pretty much everything except for bananas are washed. So just to let you know, it's important, and is to wash your fruit before you start. Today I'm going to start with my plate. And on my plate, I'm going to have a watermelon. And here's how I do this. I'm going to just cut it up and the end off. Watermelon is something that actually oxidizes. This part I'll eat later. Watermelon oxidizes, and in the old days, Mom used to cut up the whole thing. We used to get the big watermelon, cut up the whole thing into little cubes, put it in the refrigerator in a tupper, and then we could eat it as we went. But the problem with that is, unless you have a big family and you actually can eat it rapidly, the watermelon will oxidize. So this part here, when I save it, I'm going to save it like this, and every day I can cut off, or several times a day, whatever I want. But I'll put a piece of saran wrap tightly over it to keep the air. It oxidizes the same way an avocado oxidizes. Okay, you've seen the avocado turned out. So plate number one will be my plate. I'm going to take off here. Now this could be preparing for a larger group or family or guest. I'm going to take off a few seeds, not too many, just what I can get without destroying this. And then cutting it like a pizza. We'll call it 4 slices. Here's my plate. And I'm going to put this on the plate like this. My plate is going to be very simple. Half a plate. This part I will save for, remember I have these handy little paper towels, and what it's for is to keep your cutting board dry. Okay, so I have Sandia. I already cut the melon and took the seeds out, so here I'm going to cut a portion of melon. And I guess the question is, how much is a portion of melon? Well, let's see what we got here. If we were to clean this up a little bit, it's also nice to work near your near your sink, and then you can. So I'm going to cut this up, and I think it looks like I'd like about 8 or 10 pieces for my breakfast. So we'll see what happens there. Something like that. 8 or 10 pieces. Let's see. Don't have to really count them that. But actually you can take, what is a portion? That's actually the question is, what is a portion of fruit? And if you prepare for your family, you're going to want all of these plates pretty much even. And then the last part will simply be a little bit of pineapple. And that's going to look really nice. A little bit of pineapple on this plate. Okay, there's my plate. Here's my plate, and that took just a few minutes. Plate number 2. Okay, this is where it gets fun, because I'm also going to teach how to cut grapefruit. This one's really good. Okay, so first we're going to start back to the grapefruit here. First I'm going to cut this grapefruit in half, okay? Typically a portion of grapefruit, so again we're talking about portions, typically a portion of grapefruit is 1/2. I have 2 ways to prepare this. I think you may have remembered this really nice little tool. If you can see, it's double edge blade on one side and then a little curved cutting blade. What this tool does is the grapefruit is actually made up of segments and with this double blade I can cut both sides along both sides of the segment, and then after I've gone all the way around and get rid of a few seeds, I'll cut to loosen it all out, and then I can present it on a plate like this. I could cut it and present it on a plate like this, okay? Or the more creative way, so I'm going to set this one half aside because we only need, so I'm not going to use this today. This is very handy, and we use it almost on a daily basis because the simplest way to present the eggplant, again, is just cutting it with this tool and presenting it on a plate. That's the simplest way. This is my favorite way though. Here we have half a grapefruit, or one portion, and I'm going to start by cutting it in half like this. And then, so here's your grapefruit, and then we're going to cut. You kind of have to hold it because it wants to wobble. You can see that it's round. So you kind of hold it and incline. You can see how I'm doing this. I'm going to cut one segment. Now you can cut, I'm just going to cut 3, but you could cut, if you wanted smaller bite sizes, you could cut 4. So there's one segment, there's 3 segments, but I could have broken that up into 4. Okay, now I get an extra sharp knife right here. Some people would eat that white. There's a lot of fiber in that. But I'm going to take that off. And then you can watch this. A little bit closer here. Un poco más cerquita. I'm just going to go around like that. Take that and put it like this. Again, I have my sink right there, which is a great receptacle. So I got rid of that. You know what, this is actually so easy to do, and so easy, and I just thought of it. So there's that white part, one cut, and then this comes out, and look, we've pretty much got everything out of there. There's not much left. A lot of that fiber, one cut. And this one is pretty clean already, so I'm just going to cut it out. And here you go, one more piece, and you can see right away what's happening here. Right here, you can see how that all comes together. And now we have one more thing, we're almost done. One more part to this. You can see how that all came together really nice there. Now that's a presentation, and the only thing that we're gonna have, I've already talked to my wife earlier this morning, and she says pineapple. And again, this is from the other video, and I think that's going to be enough because they're kind of large pieces. I may want to even make them a little smaller like this. So here we have our pineapple pieces. And the last thing, some berries. My wife loves berries, so I'm just going to put a portion of raspberry and blueberry on there. There you have it. Presentation, maybe a piece of and we have one more thing to do here. One more thing. Stay there. Stay with me. And then put it on here. So here's my wife's plate. Grapefruit, pineapple, and berries. My plate. And with the watermelon cut like little pizzas, really easy to eat, bite by bite. It's more fun to eat with your fingers anyway. And I think we're done. nada más. We can take it up and have breakfast in bed. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Breakfast in bed with the one you love. Look at these plates one more time. Isn't that beautiful? A little closer, un poco más cerquita. Okay, there we have it. Again, thank you, and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you next time with another how-to video. Thank you. And here we go.